Hello, my loves, and welcome to another episode of Vampire Builders. Your host here, Michelle Hext. Today, I want to speak with you about something that's really close to my heart, and that is customer retention or client retention and client loyalty, I guess, and how that goes both ways. So, this comes off the back of having conversations with two of my masterminders that were in my mastermind last year who are coming back on board for 2025 and just how happy that makes me. And I want to unpack, I guess, why always the majority of my client base is returning clients and also how I get that to be, I guess, what I do differently to, I guess, those of you who don't have that return customer retention. I think for me, the number one thing that has my clients return over and over and over again is that I'm always in constant communication with them. And they I guess the second thing is they always get results. They essentially know that the path is smoother and they make more money when they work with me. And even though my price tag has increased over the years, I still deliver an ROI, at least minimum. There's usually always like a 10x on the money that they invest with me. And so, from a numbers perspective, it's a bit of a no brainer. But I know there are those of you out there as well who have created amazing results for clients, but they just don't come back to you. And why is that? And I guess I have to ask myself, why in the early days did I not have recurring clients? And I think for me, I just felt like if the result wasn't good enough in my eyes, then my clients wouldn't have been happy with the result. And then why could I go back and ask them to join me in the next thing because I felt like I didn't deliver the first time around, right? So I got up in my head about it. And I know I'm not the only one. I know that you guys do that as well. And here's the thing, right? If you hang all of your client results on a financial ROI, or if you are, say, a weight loss coach, a weight loss ROI, or whatever area you're coaching in, if you're hanging your success, I guess, shingle on did they achieve the ultimate result or not, and you only feel good about the clients that achieved the ultimate result, that financial result that they were going for, the body goal that they were going for, the relationship goal that they were going for, the leadership goal that they were going for, whatever it is, right? Say they didn't get that. And you then feel like, oh, well, I'm not good enough. Why would they come back to me? And here's what I've learned. Over the years, I have had clients that have worked with me the first time around, and they didn't always get the result that we first sought when they started working with me, right? But it's so interesting. The longer you're in this, the longer you see what's actually true and real and what patterns are. So I've had clients that invested in maybe my first or second mastermind and they achieved some results, but they didn't blow it out of the water. And so I've been in communication with a few of these coaches who then have gone around and coach shopped. They've gone and tried different coaches and they bought programs and they're following different things. And they've always come back to me and said, you know, everything that we needed to know, you taught us. And we just didn't follow through on it, or the timing wasn't right, or I didn't have the level of confidence, or whatever it is, right? But I am the person that they will come back to when they've, gone through the process of trying other coaches. And I would always encourage that, right? Because I stand by what I do and you should too. And sometimes we don't always get that result. And sometimes we just need a bit of a change, right? Sometimes we just want to see what else is out there. So I'm never going to hold that against anybody. But they will go and they will do all of those things. They'll invest in those other coaches and they'll ultimately always come back to me with, everything that you said makes sense now. Sometimes it's just a timing thing, right? But let's get back to why I have clients that continue to sign up with me. I maintain communication with my clients even when they're not working with me. So I will constantly be checking in, and I'm not saying I'm doing this every day, but whenever I'm thinking of them, I will be in their DMs, sending them a voice note saying, "Hey, I was just out on my walk. I was just thinking about you. What's going on?" And then there are even times when I will offer, "Do you want to jump on a call?" And it sounds like you're a little bit stuck around that. This call's on me. Just jump on a call and let's just see if we can figure this out. And I will do that. I will offer these calls to, those clients that have been with me for a long time, off and on over the years. And sometimes that results in those clients coming back on board immediately, and other times it doesn't. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm not, just because somebody's not paying me anymore doesn't mean that I just choose to like believe that they've ceased to exist, right? That's just never true for me. I'm always checking in on people. And it's not because I want them back as clients immediately, it's because I have created a relationship with these people, and I'm going to continue to have a relationship with these people. And the I guess the boundaries are also very, very clear. They would never reach out into my DMs and say, "Can you help me solve a problem?" unless they were willing to invest. They just would never do that. That has to come from me. I have to see that something's going on, and I know that I can help them fix it quickly. And I know that when they're ready for coaching, or when I've got another program running, if it's a good fit for them, they're going to come on board. And I get so much out of jumping onto those calls and reaching out to my clients, because I still consider them my clients, even if we're not in a working relationship at that time, because I don't know, I don't know, I just feel that way about them. If somebody is invested in me at the highest level, I'm always going to consider them a client, and I'm always going to do whatever I can to keep an eye on them. And almost always that means that they will join the next mastermind, or they'll invest in a VIP day, or they will invest in a 3-month package or a 1-month package, or whatever it is, because they know what they're getting when they work with me. They know what they can expect. And what can they expect? They can expect that I give a shit. I care. I'm going to go out of my way to support them. And they also know that I have the answers that they need. And often those answers are within themselves. So I was chatting with a long-time client this morning, and I reached out to her and she said, "Oh my God, you have this uncanny knack of reaching out to me exactly when I'm thinking of reaching out to you." And I know my spidey senses tell me that you've got some big deals that are kind of sitting there waiting to come in, but I feel like you do you feel like you need to get on a call to help them to drop in? Because sometimes just getting on a call shifts the energy, unlocks some answers that you don't have, and then you can go and do it. She's like, "That's exactly how I feel. I feel like something hasn't clicked into place." I'm like, "No worries. We'll get on a call. We'll click it into place. You'll go and you'll make your sales, and that'll be amazing." And so these are the things that I do for my clients, whether they're paying or they're not paying, because I know that they will always come back to me, and I want to support them and keep them in that place of success, and making sure that their revenue is continuing to come in and that they're feeling good about who they are. Because sometimes what happens is they have a lot of success very quickly, and they can start to up a limit, and I can see that. And what it looks like from the outside looking in is we had a really rock solid plan going into this, and they had been executing the plan under my watch, and it was working and things were going great. And then typically they stop working with me for a little while, and I'm seeing different things crop up, and I'm like, "What happened to the strategy?" And usually that's what I'll go to them with. "What's happened to our strategy? I notice you're doing all these different things." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I've confused myself and I got off track." And like, "Awesome, let's just get you back on track." And that's why my clients keep coming back, because they care. And they know that they can jump on those calls and we can sort shit out. And it doesn't mean that I expect them to come on board straight away as a client again. It doesn't mean that at all. Often they will, but that's not why I'm doing it. And it comes down to intention. And I know that the more successful my clients are, whether they're working with me at that particular time or not, the more success that I create for them, then the more, I guess, excited they are to continue to come back and work with me because they know that the results are there. And as I say, they know what they're getting. They know that I have the strategy. They know that I have the answers. They know that more than anything else, though, I know them so well and I can get in their head and I can flip that switch that needs to be flicked so that they can go out and start to do what they need to do again in a really powerful way. Oftentimes they just need a reset, and they also get to realize, oh, let's just sign me up again because I know I'm always on path and following the plan when I work with you, and I get a better result when I do that. And isn't that what you want your clients saying about you? That they just do better when they work with you. It doesn't mean that we want people working with us all the time. It's good for people to have breaks. It's good for people to go away and try different things and just see how they go on their own or under, the mentorship of somebody else, or they're DIYing it with a program or whatever, and that's all fine, right? We don't want to discourage that, but my clients are always, whenever they come back, there's such a sense of relief and a sense of expansion because they know I've got them. I've got them. And so, yeah, if you were to look at my client list on any given year, at least 50 to 60% of those people are going to be return clients, which is just amazing. Think about retention. And we know that it costs so much more to get a new client on board than it does to uh, keep those clients coming back over and over and over again. And I want you to think about your ability to retain people and have them coming back. And I want you to think about the things that you can control. So, are you reaching out to the people that you loved working with and just checking in on them to see how they're going, to see if, they want to jump on a call, to see if you can solve a quick problem with them, for them? Are you somebody who, when somebody stops paying you, you just move on with your life and they never hear from you again? Now, I'm not saying that I'm in touch with every single person that I have coached in the past. I'm not. I'm definitely not. But there are a particular subset of my clients who I just always follow up with. I'm always in communication with because we just work so well together. I love working with them when they're with me. They love working with me when we're together. And I'm always happy to have them back. I'm always happy to have them returning. And that work is very, very, easy for me. And it's also easy for them, right? Because as I say, they know what they're getting. So have a think yourself about the clients that you look at, your last, I don't know, 10 clients, and or look at your client list right now. And if you've been in this for quite a while, I want you to ask yourself, how many of these people are repeat, and how many return clients do you get on average in your client list? How many of those are repeat? And if you don't have any returning clients, I want you to ask yourself this question: why not? Why not? And then, is it about you? Did you get up in your own head about it, thinking that if somebody doesn't just come back to you, then it means that, they don't want to work with you, or they think you're not good enough or whatever? Or is it because you're not actually communicating? Are you staying in touch with your best clients even when they're not working with you? Are you following up on people that you've had amazing conversations with, but it didn't go anywhere because the time wasn't right or they couldn't afford it or whatever it is? Are you reaching out to those people? Are you following up? There are so many sales in the follow up. There are so many sales in the relationships that we have built over time. And it's up to us to make sure that we are communicating and letting people know that we're still here, that we're going to support them, even if they're paying us or not. And I think that's a really difficult distinction to make if you're new to this, right? If you're new to this and you haven't had enough clients come through, and you haven't got enough outstanding results on the board, then that can feel a little bit tricky. So I guess I'm talking to those of you that have been doing this a few years, and maybe you've been coaching 3, 4, 5 years, and go back and have a look at your client list at any time. Are the majority of those people, or are there a significant amount of those people that are returning clients? And if they're not, why not? What's going on there? Why are they not continuing to work with you? Now, if you're in a coaching space where you have, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and they've achieved the thing, and you don't have anything to offer them beyond that, then that's just the way your business is set up, right? But I always have things that are going to serve the same client. So the clients that I had that did the mastermind last year, they're going to come back in the mastermind this year, and they're not going to need to follow the syllabus necessarily. I've got new modules in there, new marketing modules in there, which are going to be amazing, and they'll obviously have access to those. But the majority of the value that they are going to receive is in our calls, when we jump on the calls every single week, and they know that my eyes are on their business, and they know they have the opportunity to drop me a DM and ask me a question if they have it. Because all of my masterminders now, whether they join the VIP or they are just a regular enrollment, they all have private DM access to me for the duration of the mastermind. And so they know that there's so much value in that, and they don't need one-on-one coaching anymore or mentoring anymore, because we've done the hard work where we need to, if they were willing to invest those big dollars up front so that we can gain a lot of traction very early on, they never need to do that again. And so it's really cost effective for them to join my mastermind again, because they're going to get a load of support. And I also offer my alumni a discounted rate to come back, because it's my vision to have my masterminders continuing to return year after year after year, because there's more value added for them, and because they have a direct line to me at all times, and the value is just there. It's bedded in that offer and in the experience that they've had with me over time. So start to think about how you can generate that client loyalty, and to have your clients coming back time and time and time again. Because I have clients that I'm continuing to work with that I signed 15 years ago who are still working with me. They might go a year or two without working with me, and then they come back on board, and then they might go away again, and then they come back, but they always come back. So if that's not happening in your business, go and have a look at why you think that's not happening, and just start to play around with it. Because I guarantee by the time you sort that out, and then every year you retain some clients and you have some other clients come back on board that have maybe been gone for a few years, you create a level of stability in your business that is just second to none. You can rely on your past clients. There's always going to be somebody from your past client list that's going to come on board for whatever it is that you have on offer at the moment. Anyway, that's it for today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you next week.